everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of our 3D letters. For this part you're going to need a cup with some water, a piece of sponge that you can cut with the scissors, and then you're going to need your craft paper tape. Remember, it sticks on this side. This is what they use to wrap and ship boxes. But remember, in art, sometimes we have to use other materials to create art. So for this case, we're gonna need this to make our letter stronger. This is gonna help, and then it's gonna even out all of this. You're not gonna see any of the tape. You're not gonna see anything. No one's gonna know that you used the cups. No one's gonna know that you have little mistakes here and there. This is gonna make it stronger, and then it's gonna be easier for you to decorate it, okay? So what you have to do is you have to cut some strips, and you have to do it in sections, slowly. Even if you have an H or an A that doesn't have any curves, I would not suggest for you to do like huge strips because it's not gonna work out. Okay, I always like to do the edges first, the corners, because it's probably the most complicated to do, and so I like to get it over with. And this is probably too long, so I will cut it. You're gonna also have to be checking to see how long you need your paper. So I like to fold it right in half. And then I'm gonna do this corner, right? So the first thing I have to do is wet my sponge. Not too wet, just enough. And remember, this dries up really fast, so you have to move quickly. I'm gonna put just half of it down. Okay, this next step, we will be using the masking tape, not the masking tape, the craft tape, sorry. The craft tape, the sponge, the cup with water, and the scissors. What you're gonna do is you're gonna cut a couple of the craft tape, a couple of sections. Not too small, not too large. You're gonna, as you're doing it, you will realize what you need. I already started because it would take forever for me to sit here and show you. So I did this entire section. Every single thing must be covered. The inside, the outside, the corners. This tape, what it does once it dries, because it has glue on this side, it like strengthens it. It makes it stronger. It makes it solid. It's like super strong and hard. And then, so if you have any imperfections from the tape or from the paper, whatever you did, nothing will show. And then it also gives you a clean canvas for you to work on to decorate and design your letter, which will be a different video for that, okay? So I'm gonna work on this section. I'm gonna give you the tips that I use, the things I do to make this neat and nice. It's always important that when you're working on something, whatever it is that you do, presentation is a must. Like I always say in class, you must learn to do things nice, neat. You know, take your time. Everything is time. Things might seem easy, but they're not. You know, whatever you do, just be patient, okay? So the first thing we need to do, again, we're gonna do the sides. We're gonna do this corner here. I always do the corners first because I always feel like I'm just gonna tackle the hard parts first. So what I need to do is I'm gonna fold it in half, open it up, put water, but like this, so it doesn't have that much water, just enough to cover. And because there's glue on this side, you need to kind of work fast. It'll dry. So what I like to do is I will put half of it down like this, right? And then if if I try to close it, you're gonna see that you can't. So what you're gonna do is you're going to make a cut here. Then you're going to bring this flap down, this one down, and as you're doing it, press hard to make it stick, and then this one around. And if you have any extras, you just, that way, your corners are completely covered and you're not doing one section at a time. I don't want you to do something like this where you tape it and then you tape this side, because this needs to also be covered with the craft tape, and it looks super messy. It's just gonna look horrible if you do it that way. So if you do it this way, it's a lot easier. Again, what you do is wet it, right? Put a piece of it, cut it, and then fold it in. Fold the sections in. That way you have everything covered. Let's do this with this side right here, okay? And you're gonna see that you might need to cut the paper a little bit more, and each section is different. So we're going to add some water, right? We're gonna cover this piece, but I also wanna cover this, like this whole section. So I'm going to add a piece here, bring it in. As I'm doing it, I am pressing down. So I need to make a cut here. So I give the paper enough space to open up and move. And actually, it like glue to the letter. I'm gonna bring this in. And then I might need to add a little bit more water because this paper dries up so fast. And then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna bring this in, and then I'm gonna bring this over like that, okay? And I'm gonna press down. It's important that you do it all the way down so you don't see any bumps, because if it doesn't have enough water, it's not gonna stick. See, this already is giving me a hard time. So I'm gonna add a little bit more, and then I'm gonna keep my finger there, hold it down, press it down, and then it'll dry, okay? So I've covered all these corners already, right? Then I'm gonna cover this. You just have to be careful when you have something that has a curved shape. So I will cut a piece, add my water. I'm going to start off and do the inside. So basically, like half of it goes inside, right? I'm gonna press down as I'm doing it, not softly, like hard, so it's all the way down. If I were to just fold it, it's not gonna look right. What I need to do is I need to make these strips like this, cut these strips, again, to give the paper enough space to actually open up, because it is a curved shape. So I'm gonna press this one, and now you'll be able to work better like that, because otherwise it's not gonna work. So I have this one. I can work with a paper this long, but it's harder because, again, the paper dries up really fast. So you can fold it in half if it helps you. That way you know what one half goes on one end. Put paper. My audience is not very happy. And then I'm gonna do this again. Press. Make sure this side is glued down first. And then what am I gonna do? If I were just to bring it in, it would just make a mess. I'm gonna make some cuts. I think I added way too much water. So, pull it, bring this part in. It's okay. And then press it. You can always put a paper on top of it so you get rid of that messy stuff right there, okay? So we already covered the inside, the outside of that part. We need to cover this section. See, it's not good to work with a big sheet of paper, like a big piece of paper. it's always best to work with a small piece. So for this one, I'm just gonna do this, and I'm just gonna cut it once in the middle. Otherwise, it'll leave a bump. The paper needs kind of like its own space to open. Okay. Okay. So again, I'm working with the curved part. Make sure it's all the way pressed, and then cut it, cut it, cut it. This in, I might need to cut this a little bit. And then just press it down, okay? I have this tiny little piece. I'm gonna cut two. Some water, put it here in the corner. Just cover this, okay? I have this little section to do. I'm gonna cut it a little bit more so it's not too big and it's harder for me. Okay, this looks really messy, and sometimes once you're decorating, you're gonna be able to see all those lines. So what I like to do at the end, I'll just go in and I'll clean it up by adding more. This, I can cut it in half. This. Mero, papi, ya mero. Okay. So we are going to cover this section again. Putting half of it down, just in case. I'm going to cut it and bring it in, pressing hard. I'm going to this. Add more. You might want to do this if it helps on both sides. But be careful. And as you're doing this, make sure you press down so the paper will actually stick. It's a little messy, your hands are gonna get sticky. It's okay, you can go wash your hands and then come back. So I'm gonna cover this whole piece. Try not to leave tiny little folds like this, because if the paper doesn't stick, the paper's gonna come up, it's gonna rise. So I just need to cover that. The baby's not very happy about this letter. Okay, so if you look at it and if you find anything that looks kind of messy, just cut smaller strips and cover it, because it might show when you are decorating. So like this. And I'm gonna show you one more thing, and I actually covered it without realizing it. So let's say that you want to glue something inside like this. Cut a strip like that, maybe a little bit smaller. Put some water and then bring it in the middle like this. You might need to open it up, you might not. Do that. And again, remember, everything needs to be covered, even the corners inside. So I think we already went over this, but just in case, I'll use this little piece, fold it in half, add some water. Ya mero, papi, ya mero. Then put a piece inside, one on the top, one on the bottom, cut through the middle, go like this. That way, everything, when you look at your letter and you think you're finished, make sure that everything is covered, the inside, the outside, around, the curves, the edges, every little part. It needs to be solid like this. Put more paper, okay? Let me see what else. I've covered everything. Make sure that you leave, that everything is solid, that everything is in its place. Then now you have a letter that's three-dimensional, that's strong, that'll stand, that's completely covered with the craft paper, and then you have a blank canvas, just like when you paint. You have a blank canvas to decorate, okay? And that decorating will be the next video. So I will see you soon. Goodbye.